My name is Amoka. If you see me today in the market, with my wrapper tied tightly around my waist, a baby strapped to my back and another tugging at my hand, you might think I am strong. People always say that Amoka is strong. But strength is sometimes just another word for survival. The day I gave birth was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. At least, that was what everyone told me. Once you carry your baby, you will forget the pain, my mother said. I believed her. I really did. The hospital smelled like antiseptic and fear. I remember gripping the metal bed, my body shaking as contractions tore through me like something alive, something angry. Push, Amoka, the nurse shouted. Push. 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 As if my body was not already breaking apart. As if I wasn't already giving everything. When my son finally came out, I didn't scream in joy. I was too tired. Too empty. Too gone. They placed him on my chest. He was warm. Small. Crying. Alive. And for a brief moment, I smiled. But nobody tells you that sometimes, that moment, is the last time you feel like yourself. The first night at home was when everything started to feel wrong. The house was quiet. Too quiet. My husband, Chinedu, was already asleep, snoring softly like nothing had changed. But everything had changed. My body ached in places I didn't know existed. My stomach felt like it had been emptied and filled with stones. My breasts were swollen, heavy, painful. The baby cried. I picked him up. He cried louder. I tried feeding him. He refused. I adjusted. Tried again. Still crying. Tears rolled down my face. Why is he crying? I whispered. There was no answer. Just his cries. And my growing panic. That was the first time I felt it. That deep, sinking feeling in my chest. Like I was already failing. 2 weeks later, my mother insisted I should start moving around. You cannot sit down in one place like a sick person, she said. So I followed her to the market. The market was alive, as always. Women shouting. Traders calling. Goats bleating. Children running. Life moving forward. But I felt disconnected. Like I didn't belong anymore. Oh Amoka. You done born, one woman shouted. Yes, I forced a smile. No boy or girl. Boy. You are lucky oh. Your husband go happy well. Lucky. That word stung. Because I didn't feel lucky. I felt lost. As I stood there, my baby started crying again. Loud. Sharp. Uncontrollable. People turned to look. Carry your pikin well, someone said. Maybe he is hungry. Maybe you know Sobi handle baby. The words hit me like stones. I held him tighter, my heart racing. I am trying, I whispered under my breath. But nobody heard. The bleeding didn't stop. Weeks passed. Still bleeding. Still pain. Still weakness. One afternoon, I stood up too quickly and the world spun. The next thing I remember was waking up on the floor. My baby crying beside me. Amoka, my neighbor screamed as she rushed in. What happened? I don't know, I whispered. Back to the hospital. Again. The doctor looked at me with tired eyes. You are not resting enough. I almost laughed. Rest. With a newborn. In Nigeria. You are losing too much blood, he continued. And your body is weak. Weak. Another word I hated. Take these drugs. Eat well. And try to sleep. Try. That word again. Chinedu changed. Or maybe. I just started seeing clearly. You are always tired, he complained one night. I just gave birth, I replied quietly. So, other women do it. That sentence broke something inside me. Other women. Other women. Other women. I stopped talking. Stopped explaining. Stopped expecting understanding. At night, when the baby cried, he would turn to the other side. Please check him, he would mumble. As if the baby was mine alone. I began to feel like a stranger in my own home. It didn't happen suddenly. It crept in slowly. Quietly. Like a shadow. I stopped enjoying things. Stopped laughing. Stopped caring. Sometimes, I would sit and stare at the wall while my baby cried, and I couldn't move. Not because I didn't want to. But because I felt empty. One day, I looked at my son and felt nothing. No love. No joy. Just distance. I panicked. What is wrong with me? I whispered. That was when I knew. Something was deeply wrong. In our compound, nothing stays hidden. She is not bonding with her child, one woman whispered. I think something is wrong with her, another said. Maybe spiritual problem. Spiritual. Everything becomes spiritual. My mother dragged me to a prayer house. The pastor laid hands on me. Every spirit of sadness, leave her. I wanted to scream. This was not a spirit. This was me. Breaking. It was a young nurse who finally said it. You might be experiencing postpartum depression. The word sounded foreign. Heavy. Complicated. What is that? I asked. It happens to many women after childbirth. You are not alone. Not alone. But it felt like I was. She explained gently. The hormones. The exhaustion. The emotional crash. For the first time, I didn't feel crazy. I felt seen. One night, everything became too much. The crying. The pain. The loneliness. The silence from my husband. I stood in the kitchen, holding a knife. Not to hurt anyone. Not even to hurt myself. But just to feel something. Tears poured down my face. I don't want to feel like this anymore, I whispered. Then my baby cried. Softly. Weakly. I dropped the knife. And ran to him. He needed me. Even when I didn't feel like I deserved him. Recovery didn't happen overnight. It wasn't magical. It wasn't easy. It was slow. Painfully slow. Some days, I felt okay. Other days, I felt like drowning again. But I started trying. Talking. Asking for help. I found one woman in the market, Ngozi. She had gone through the same thing. You will survive, she told me. I thought I wouldn't. But I did. For the first time, I believed it. Maybe I could too. I began to reclaim small pieces of myself. Bathing without rushing. Eating properly. Sleeping when I could. Ignoring people who didn't understand. I stopped trying to be other women. I started trying to be me again. My son started smiling. And this time, I felt it. Warmth. Connection. Love. Not forced. Not expected. But real. Motherhood is not always beautiful. It is not always joyful. It is not always fulfilling. Sometimes, it is painful. Lonely. Overwhelming. And that doesn't make you a bad mother. It makes you human. Today, I still struggle. But I am no longer lost. When I walk through the market, I hold my head a little higher. When my child cries, I don't panic. When people talk, I don't listen. Because I know something they don't. Survival is not weakness. It is strength. And every day I wake up, I choose to keep going. Because I am not just a mother. I am a woman who fought her way back from darkness. And that is my story.